Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'm discussing my thoughts on episode 10 of the anime series Norn9. I gotta say, this is actually a pretty explosive, exciting episode to me. Being largely unfamiliar with the source material, I didn't really know what to expect, and they were thoroughly ramping up toward a final confrontation between Kakeru and his own father, Shiro Yugia, and, trying to chase down Koharu and save her from his own father, who she knows very well as the Traveler and all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting to me because he is traipsing around very much akin to a melding of Spider-Man and Poison Ivy from the Batman Rogues Gallery, and the fact that he's using vines instead of webbing, and the green emanations of his power just made him look all kinds of badass as far as I was concerned. And it was really interesting, the juxtaposition of their driving forces being very much the same. The impetus is the love that they want to save or recapture in a sense. And, both men that we're dealing with, one is alive and one is arguably not. And one's love is alive and one is arguably not. And it's really interesting because we find that his father had mechanized himself so many thousands of years ago. He's like basically a machine in a sense. And I'm getting shades of like Doctor Who, like Cybermen stuff. But the thing is, there's still an emotional driving force behind him in recapturing. And he's got this whole thing down to a science. The idea of, because of the resets, trying to not only bring about the right time and place, but reincarnation of souls. And he believes Sorara is the, sort of chief paradigm of this. He is the re-embodiment, both at a genetic and soul, I guess, encased level, of the scientists that initially created Ein/Ion, and he now truly believes, he well and truly believes, he can attain this. He can bring back the woman he lost, and he is just, excessive. I mean, he's not afraid to put his hands on his own son. I was getting a little annoyed with that stick he's using. He's beating his son and everything, Kakeru. And I was just waiting. I'm like, come on, Koharu, get ticked off here. Flame on, baby, And she finally does. And they sort of match their abilities. It's mostly on Kakeru's side, underwhelming his father, taking his father down. But it was really interesting how this all coincides. I mean, because along this journey, Kakeru had actually run into Natsuhiko and Mikoto, who are still sidled up together. And Natsuhiko's like, pointing his gun at Kakeru, I'm going to kill you if you don't go kill your dad. We're going to lay this area wasted anyway. Daddy's base, Daddy Dearest is based, because he's got his partner setting up all the explosives, and Natsuhiko and Mikoto, they go in to sort of, I guess, the base's underground computer terminal, the central terminal, to shut down all the robots and make it less of an excessive battle ongoing to try to get in and out of there. And, they're going to blow a dam that's, so many hundreds of yards away and just flood the area because it's all filled with weapons of mass destruction that Shiro, he wanted to keep war perpetual, to keep the reset perpetual, to engage this idea of, re-encapsulating, reincarnating the soul of his lost love. And it's mind-blowing that. And they just get out of there by the skin of their teeth, found by Akito. He just barely manages to scoop them out. As the waters are flooding, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're finally arm in arm again. And, oh yeah, now they're going to get flooded and die. But luckily, there is Akito. And as we see, Natsuhiko's partner doesn't know at all what happened yet by the end of the episode, because there was a whole clever misdirection, I thought. The whole series, you're basically dealing with Sakuya's, the mystery in the start of the series as to his visions, that he has these visions, and that he has envisioned himself dying to save Mikoto, the woman he basically loves. And he has shared this with her. They have been very much about trying to make sure this is the last possible thing that could happen in any given scenario. And of course, there has to be the one lone robot who's the last to shut down after all the computer stuff gets terminated, turned down, whatever, turned off. And he gets the one shot in, it gets the one shot in pointedly at Mikoto, but of course Natsuhiko is the guy to get in the way of that blast. And it doesn't look like a kill shot. I don't think he's dead. We do see him in sort of the rescue vehicle that Akito is piloting with all of them toward the end. But it was kind of shocking that, because it was very much playing to the exact vision Sakuya had, but it wasn't Sakuya. And that kind of makes me happy, because I want to see these characters come together the way it's very much hinted that they ought to. But here's the rub. The PV for the next episode. The way things are left off, the majority of the characters are already in the heart of the world tower, confronting Ion, and which is their purpose at this point. They are all meant to decide when they finally all come together. Of course, some of the party was not present at the time, and Ion is saying there's only so much time left to make this decision, but it's all about making that decision. Is the reset viable? Does it need to happen? All that kind of stuff. And at least the PV hints to me like it's inevitable. It's going to happen one way or the other. That's the way it looks. And in a sense, it's tragic that, and it's heartbreaking. But if that's how it does play out, there's also a poetic sense to it, because it just casts you all the way back to the start of the series again, and it's perpetual. You can just watch it over and over and over again, and always lead you back to the beginning. And there's some, understated charm to that, if that is the aesthetic they're going for. But I'm going to be definitely waiting with bated breath to find out. Because I've become so invested in these characters and all their abilities and learning about them. I'm still kind of desperately wondering if there's going to be any further revelation between Senri and, Akito and all that kind of stuff. If Nanami actually did take out the last of Senri's memories as Akito asked her to, and I don't know. I hope not, as I have said, but who knows. This was a hell of an explosive, again, exciting episode. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you follow the source material, how closely was this in representing the sort of, pseudo-culmination, there's still a little more to go, of the story? Are you happy with it? Pleased, displeased? Anything goes in the comments below. Love it or hate it. Just love having that conversation. But as someone who is unfamiliar with it all, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I've enjoyed the series on whole. I enjoyed this episode, probably my favorite episode thus far, and I just can't wait to see how it all culminates in the finale. So otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.